Hi everyone, and you're welcome to my blog Psychology with Olga. In this video we're going to speak about 5 amazing facts from the biography of Lev Vygotsky, one of the world's most prominent and most influential psychologists of all times. Vygotsky was born into a big Jewish family with a total of 8 children. His intelligent father and mother attached a huge significance to education, and they put a lot of effort to instill a love for sciences, culture, and foreign languages in their children. No wonder that Vygotsky's 2 sisters later on became well-known linguists-lexicographers, and Vygotsky himself turned into a polyglot who spoke at least 9 different languages. Vygotsky's mother tongues were Yiddish and Russian, with Yiddish being spoken mostly inside of the family and Russian being the language of social relations and interaction outside of the house. Vygotsky also could read and write in ancient Greek, Hebrew, Latin. He was also fluent in English, French, and German. And at a certain point, he was also interested in learning Esperanto. Later on, the knowledge of foreign languages provided Vygotsky access to the works of scholars and scientists which were not available for Russian readers. Vygotsky's disciples remembered that very often he would bring texts which have never been translated into Russian, and they would be the first to hear the translations that Vygotsky made by himself. Vygotsky actually started to demonstrate signs of a genius very early. According to some biographers, he learned to read at around the age of 2, which is extremely early. For the first few years, he was actually homeschooled, and it was his mother who became his first teacher. Later on, he entered a private gymnasium where he very quickly earned the nickname of a little professor. Vygotsky had some amazing abilities. For example, he had an outstanding memory, which allowed him to memorize pages and pages of texts. Later in his life, this allowed him to quote different scholars by heart without actually needing to see the original texts. Vygotsky also had an amazing speed of thought, which allowed him to write his text straight through without actually needing to edit or revise them. Due to this capacity, he was able to produce a lot of texts, and it turned him to one of the most prolific writers, to one of the most prolific psychologists. Because in a period of around 10 years, he created over 180 different texts. And probably this capacity allowed him to work so hard and be so creative in a period of only 10 years. We know that from his youth, Vygotsky suffered from tuberculosis, which tragically cut his life short at the age of 37. Despite all of his amazing abilities, it was extremely challenging for Vygotsky to enter university. And it was due to the strict quotas that existed at that time for students of Jewish origin. As a matter of fact, Vygotsky actually had to take part in a lottery, and he did draw that winning ticket that allowed him to enter the Imperial University, which later turned into Moscow Lomonosov University. Originally, he enrolled at the Faculty of Medicine. However, he then changed to the Department of Law. It was his father's idea. However, Vygotsky actually never got interested in law. In parallel with that, Vygotsky studied at Cherniavsky University, which at that time was the cradle for humanities, where Vygotsky finally got a chance to study history, philosophy, and psychology that interested him so much. Thus, one of the most famous psychologists of all times that never received a degree in psychology. Want to find out more about Vygotsky and his theory? Do subscribe to my channel.